loudest in the room by far. And you look up and our eyes lock, and my heart falls straight out of my chest, baby. Your lips and your sweet smile, let me kiss it till I die. For the rest of our lives, yes, you and me were meant to be. For the rest of our lives, drop your guard and take a ride with me, 'cause you got what I want, oh, and I got what you need. For the rest of our lives, it's gonna be a done deal, just wait and see. Well, the sun's up, you wake up, an angel in the morning light. And I don't ever wanna leave, the bed's messed up just right. So we make love and we make plans, and God knows that I'm all about it. We're up high, never coming down, baby, just you and I. For the rest of our lives, yes, you and me were meant to be. For the rest of our lives, drop your guard and take a ride with me, 'cause you got what I want, oh, and I got what you need. For the rest of our lives, it's gonna be a done deal, just wait and see. It's gonna be a done deal, just wait and see. It's gonna be a done deal, just wait and see.
Just pulling and checking it out.
About 10 minutes away from starting the NTPA Regional National event, 4 classes of trucks and tractors that'll be here tonight. You can already see a lot of the pullers on the track right now. Some of them with pokers in their hand, looking to see where maybe the hardest or the softest parts of the track are, looking for that little extra advantage where they might get a little bit more traction than maybe another part of the track. You can see that we're taking the sled up and down the track to give that last little compaction. And so folks, all of these things together are going to culminate for an incredible night here at the Preble County Fair. 10 minutes from starting the Hot Farm class.
See nobody. I don't know. If I'm
It's sold, supported, and serviced by them. The men and women at your local Case IH dealerships understands what it takes to overcome the folks out of Star City, Indiana. This is Alan Daly coming onto the track, and I'll tell you what, we're already starting with an incredible, successful puller. Just 3 years ago, got third place in the NTPA Winter Nationals, and has been a two-time Hoosier State Points champion. This is one of the higher performing hot farm tractors here in the NTPA pulling circuit. Now throughout the night, I'm going to share a few of those complexities or rules with the NTPA tractor pulling. One of them is the test puller principle. A lot of you that have been to pulls before, you understand that, but there are some of you that might be at your very first pull tonight, so we're going to explain some of these things as the night goes. So the first puller of every class is a test puller. What that means is that we're going to let them go down the track, give it everything they have. Our track officials look at the distance. They look at how easy or how hard that tractor made it down the track, and they decide, is that sled set appropriately with the right gear, with the right weight, or does it have to be lightened up or heavied up? That's the first thing. The second thing is the puller actually gets to decide if they want the distance or if they want to drop in the order. Because every once in a while, maybe a puller thinks they could have done just a little bit better. Maybe they were not on the right part of the track and they want to give it another try. Now, if the puller does that, they wipe out that first distance and they come back and they do it a second time. Last time we had a puller do that, and the second pull was 30 feet further the second time. We had another pull do it, and he was 40 feet shorter the second time. Would have actually finished in the top 5 if he would have kept his first distance, but instead actually finished in last place. So the strategery sometimes works, sometimes doesn't. Now, if you notice, this first puller again, Alan Daly, out of Star City, Indiana, he's got that sled located right in the middle of the track. I'll explain why that is, what that means later on. But here we go, ladies and gentlemen, the first pull of the Preble County NTPA Regional National, the green flag for Alan Daly. For the first pull of the night, Alan Daly way past 300 feet. What a nice start for Alan Daly. Now, he did kind of simmer out there at the end, it sounded like, which means he might just drop in the order. He may decide that he's got a little bit more. The official distance is 303.84 feet. We'll find out from our track officials if he's going to drop or if he's going to stay right there. 303.84 feet.
$196 for the full 5 days. But I spent about $1,000 for hotel. Get the emblem.
Again, throughout the night, we're going to talk about a lot of our national sponsors, maybe some of the national programs that we have. And folks, this one's kind of a neat one. You have a chance to win a one-team weekly prizes. Make sure you sign up for that Case IH NTPA Superfan Experience. Again, Case IH, an official sponsor of NTPA. Well, the word from the track is that Alan Daly has dropped, and he will move to the end of the order. That means that distance does not count, and we're back to the first puller of the class. This is Brian Carrington out of Georgetown, Ohio. This is a 2019 Case IH. It's an Optum 270, and he calls that tractor endless. Brian Carrington out of Georgetown, Ohio. This is the 6th time that Brian Carrington has been with NTPA this year at a pulling event. All 5 times he's been out, a top 10 performance. He's actually got a 4th place finish this year. So not only is this tractor a good-looking tractor, it is a high-performing tractor. So the first pull of 303 feet was dropped. This will now be the distance to beat, the green flag for Brian Carrington. Wow, right there at the end, the same thing you saw with Allen, just kind of lost a little bit of the horsepower at the end, but we got it out there close to 300 feet. That distance actually, here it comes. It's 296.84 feet. Again, 296.84 feet. That is now the distance to beat in this class of 17 pullers. Well, folks, do you need a car battery, a headlight bulb? Do you need wiper blades? Well, trust O'Reilly's. Talk about where this sled is positioned. Look way past the starting line. You can see an orange cone there. Maybe you missed that because the sled was pulling back, but you'll find that orange cone every time that sled backs up. Here's what happens. The puller that's about ready to come up will actually have his crew put that orange cone where they want that sled. That sled for this puller, and this is Darren Bomber out of Brookville, Indiana. He was actually here last night with this 1967 International 1206. But what they'll do is they'll put that cone and they'll put the sled where they want it. Now, Darren has the sled right in the middle of the track. Sometimes they'll put that sled over here on the infield side, sometimes closer to the grandstand side of the track. They do that because the pullers have been on the track and they have determined, at least Darren Bomber has determined, that he's going to have the best grip right there in the middle of the track. So what they try to do is find where are going to get that competitive advantage. Is it on this side? Is it on the other? Is it in the middle? Now sometimes the pullers may start in the middle and they may veer a little left or they may veer a little right. Sometimes that little turn will get them an extra 5 or 6 feet. We actually had someone win last night by 2/100ths of an inch. It was that close. So sometimes that different track is going to give them an advantage. This is the second puller of the class looking to beat that distance of 296 feet. Here is the green flag for Darren Bomber. Darren Bomber is going to get real close to first place. Remember, that was 296.84 feet. That was a nice run for Darren Bomber, and here is his distance. We do have a new leader, 300.80 feet, 300.80 for Darren Bomber. Now let's talk about that distance. Those of you that have been around truck and tractor pulling for years, but maybe you haven't been around in the last 5-6 years, you might think, wait a minute, 300 feet, that's a full pull, isn't it? Well, not anymore. We have what we call a floating finish line. Now, first of all, that full pull over the years has changed to 350 feet. Most of the fairs, most of the event places we go to, we can have it go to 350 feet. And that is a full pull. So we used to go ahead and have the pullers try to get as far as they could. And if they got over either that 300 mark or 350, they had a full pull. And if you had 2 or more do that, we would bring them back and we would have a pull-off at the end of the class. We would add a little bit more weight on the sled, we'd make it a little bit more difficult, and we would see who was the men and who was the boys, who were the women and who were the girls, right? Well, what has happened in the last few years, we have a supply chain issue here in this world, here in America. And so in the past, if a puller had a part break or something went wrong, we used to be able to get those parts sometimes overnight. Sometimes we just go to maybe a local Napa store or some parts store and we'd be able to get that part. Doesn't happen anymore. If a puller breaks, many times they may not get that part for 6 or 8 months and it ends the pulling season. So what we try to do is have a puller only go one time a night. The more times you pull, the more opportunity there is for breakage, and so that's why we float the finish line. On the track, the third puller of this class, he comes to us out of Rochester, Indiana. This is Kevin Smith with Buckshot Reloaded. This is a John Deere 4960, just a nice looking tractor. He's also right there in the middle of the track. Kevin Smith again out of Rochester, Indiana. Kevin has been with NTPA one time this year, and folks, that was a second place finish in Indiana. So he's been pulling in other circuits across America this year, but the one time he was with us, he was runner-up. So when you hear something like that, you know that the leading distance of 300 feet is probably in jeopardy right now. Now he has a tight chain. We're waiting for that roller to come off the track. And there's the green flag. Here we go, Kevin Smith. Started right in the middle, and he took a left-hand turn and went diagonal way to the left side of the track and way past 300 feet. And here's how far: 314.38 feet. Put your hands together for Kevin Smith. Over 314 feet. Now, Kevin made me a little nervous there, folks. If you notice, especially those of you there in the grandstand right there at that 250 mark, his front left tire got real close to that white chalk. Now when you see that white chalk, here's the rule. If any one of your tires on the tractor touch that white chalk, you're going to be disqualified. Now sometimes a puller might go to the left and then whip it to the right, and the sled might go over the white chalk. That does not disqualify you. It's only if your tire on the tractor, either the front or the back tire, goes over that white chalk. So I'll tell you what, old Kevin, he was playing with it there a little bit. He went left, and he got real close to that white chalk, but he didn't hit it, and he is now the new leader.
Must be the same one. I think there's one flying around. Yeah, I think me.
Out of Columbiana City, Indiana, a 1994 John Deere he calls Addiction. This is Brant Schrader. He's been pulling for 10 years, ladies and gentlemen. The most experienced puller you've seen so far with this class. Brant Schrader, again out of Columbiana City, Indiana. He pulled just a couple of weeks ago in Arcola, Indiana, finished fourth with this tractor. Again, a high-performing tractor. Now, it looks like he's positioned himself a little closer here to the infield side of the track, not dead center like the last couple did. First place right now sits at 314.38 feet. Brant Schrader out of Columbia City, Indiana. The roller has cleared the track. The green flag for Brant Schrader. A nice pull, just kind of simmered out there at the end. He went just a little right, then he turned a little left. He did not get to 314. It sure looked like at 200 feet he had that going. The distance for Brant Schrader is 292.76 feet. 292.76 feet for Brant Schrader. Ladies and gentlemen, Hot Shots Secret Diesel Extreme is the official fuel at 23 bowling circuit. We're back on the track. This is Ryan Funk. Out of Royal Center, Indiana, this tractor is called Hook on the Feeling. 1969 International 856. We've got a green flag, and here we go, Ryan Funk. .64 feet, 301.064 feet. A certified service location of Bass Dealer Network and a fully stocked aftermarket parts department on the track. This is Chris James. This is the 1977 John Deere 6030. He calls the Buck Robber. 13 years. Chris has been pulling with NTPA, and this is his 5th event here in the bowling season. Now look where he's positioned, a little bit closer to the grandstand side. Maybe closer that way than anybody else. So far, most of the pullers, or at least the good ones here of late, have started here closer to the infield, and they've turned left, and they went the diagonal way. Let's see what Chris James is going to do. The green flag for the Buck Robber. Pull for the Buck Robber. All right, folks, we've got the clear track, the green flag for Everett Wilkerson. This is also the 5th time that even this weekend we want to keep the tractors and trucks going for you continuously all night. Here we go, the green flag for Justin Flack. That's a big old uh-oh. He's going to get her going again. We're going to try to get this one down the track. Justin Fleck, Salina, Ohio. Seems like we're having just a little bit of a problem there. The pit crew's coming in to help. Looks like we're going to unhook them at this point. Bring another puller over the track. When we find out what happened there, we'll go ahead and let you know. But let's go back here to Mason Noose. He's our textiles and nutrition king. And ladies and gentlemen, one of the Junior Fair Kings here, Mason Noose. Back on the track out of Rochester, Indiana. This is Travis Smith. This is a John Deere. He calls the Cornfield Cadillac. He's pulled one time this year, folks, and he won that event. That happened in Logansport, Indiana. This is one that could get past 314. Let's watch him go. Travis Smith. Tractor, just a good-looking tractor, folks. He comes from Berrien Springs, Michigan. This is Tim Jones with a 1975 case. He calls against the odds. 5 different times he's been with us this year. His best finish was in Logansport, Indiana, a real competitive event that night. He got 3rd place. Here's one of those pullers that can compete for 314 feet. Now that 314 distance, that was over a half hour ago. You just wonder if anyone's going to get to that distance, because folks, that track will change sometimes from minute to minute. So before this class started, we dumped quite a bit of water on that track, right? Well, with the sun out, that track is starting to dry up a little bit. And with each pull, there gets to be some grooves in that track. Obviously, the scraper comes out the roller, but that track changes. Sometimes it's better to be early, sometimes it's better to be at the end. Right now, it seems like it's better to be early. Let's see what Tim Jones has to say about that. The green flag for against the odds. Close to 300 feet. A nice pull for Tim Jones. Now tonight, the pullers, any of them want to win. He does not get close to 314 feet. It was truly important to be early in the order tonight. And here we go, the green flag for Vernon Benjamin. Just tell folks something was wrong there at about 30 feet. Just didn't seem to have the horsepower going. One more time for David Wyrow. 1973 International 1466. A winner in Springfield, Ohio. And the green flag for Vernon Benjamin. Something's with that track tractor tonight. I'll tell you, at 50 feet, I thought it was going to roll, but he had to shut her down tonight. We got her close to 200 feet NTPA. Well, that's the Buccaneer that's coming onto the track out of Brookville, Indiana. That's Colton Bomber. This is his second time with NTPA this year. He was here last night, did a nice job here at the poll that was put on by Central Ohio and Dark County. This is the 1975 John Deere 4430. Colton Bomber.
4430.
The tight chain. The track is clear. The green flag. Buccaneer. That might be close. How about that for the Buccaneer, being driven by Colton Bomber, first place, 314.38 feet. That's the distance to beat. And here we go, 303.5 feet. Wow, I thought he went further than that. That's fourth place, just outside of the top three. You see, the puller's got all of that gear on, they've got the helmet on, they've got the roll cage. They don't have rear view mirrors and they can't turn around. So the gentleman in front of the tractor is watching the guy on the sled and he's telling him straight back, left, right, and now how much farther he has to go. The puller has no eyes looking behind him, but thanks to those two other guys, he's able to back straight up. And maybe once out of every 20 tractors, they get off and they have to go back and try it again. But those guys work in tandem and do a nice job. Then they pull the tractor up, they get that tight chain, so there's no slack, and then comes the green flag for Scott Miller. This is called the No Name Deere. It's a John Deere 4250. He's out of Star City, Indiana. Alan Daly was our test hook earlier. Did not like his distance, backed up and did it again. Third place in the Winter Nationals a couple of years ago, and he's been the Hoosier State champion. What I like about that is when you have a puller who has won state champions like that, who has placed in national championships, that means we're ending the class with someone, if his tractor is performing as it should, he is going to get down there close to 314 feet. Now, third place right now is 305.68. If he doesn't win it, he'd like to get past 305 and get one of these prizes. There's the tight chain. The track is clear. Your final hot farm of the night. Here we go, the No Name Deere. The No Name Deere, from my vantage point, I think he's going to be real close to that 305, which means third place. Let's see what we've got. Again, 305.6 is third place, and it's going to be close. Alan Daly's distance, 295.68 feet.